The old Victorian house stood on a hill overlooking the town, its darkened windows like eyes staring out of the world. Locals whispered stories about the basement, a place where shadows danced and strange sounds echoed in the dead of night. 10-year-old Maya, however, was drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Her older brother, Liam, tried to warn her. "Don't go down there, Maya," he pleaded. Not after what happened to her was ever known. The old Victorian house hushed on the edge of town. Camcorder and a reckless bravado. They planned to conquer the legend of 13. Sam, the self-proclaimed leader, adjusted his headlamp. "All right, team," he whispered, his voice a shaky counterpoint to the wind whistling through broken panes. "Let's get this over with. Bob, you're on track. Colin, keep an eye out. Nawa, you're with me." The front door creaked open, revealing a cavernous hallway surrounded by shadow. Dust motes danced explored the ground floor, finding nothing but decay and the chilling weight of the house's history. On the second floor, a gust of wind slammed a door shut, making them jump. Khaled swore he heard a giggle, a child's giggle, high-pitched and unsettling. Nawaf, usually the bravest, shivered. They pressed on, their steps growing quieter, their breaths shallower. They reached a room at the end of the hallway. A single, ornate music box sat on a dusty dresser. Sam picked it up cautiously. As he wound it, a melody started, haunting and beautiful, yet strangely unnerving. The air grew colder, and the shadows seemed to deepen, shifting and swirling around them. Suddenly, the lights on their cameras flickered and died. A blood-curdling scream ripped through the silence. It was Khaled. They spun around, but he was gone. Panic seized them. Sam yelled Khaled's name, his voice echoing in the oppressive silence. There was no answer, only the eerie melody of the music box. They searched frantically, but Khaled had vanished without a trace, leaving behind only an unsettling emptiness. Terror seized them. They fled the house, the music box's melody fading behind them. They never spoke of that night again, the chilling memory of the vanished friend and the haunted melody forever etched in their minds. The legend of 13 remained, a chilling testament to a night of terror and a friendship irrevocably broken. The camera footage, miraculously still functioning, showed only the empty house and the chilling melody until it abruptly cut out. On the outskirts of the city, shrouded in an unnatural gloom even under the summer sun, stood the abandoned house numbered 13. Withered trees clawed at its decaying walls, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky. Locals whispered of disappearances, of those who dared to enter and never returned. But for Sam, Fahd, Khaled, and Nawaf, thrill-seekers armed with cameras, it was an irresistible challenge. Their adventure, however, would prove far more terrifying than they could imagine. As they pushed open the rotting door, a wave of unnatural cold washed over them. Dust motes danced in the slivers of moonlight that pierced the gloom, illuminating strange symbols etched into the decaying wood. The heavy oak door slammed shut behind them with a bone-jarring thud, sealing their fate. The house seemed to breathe around them, alive with an unsettling presence. Whispers slithered from the shadows, disembodied laughter, heavy footsteps echoing from empty rooms. Their names called in hushed, chilling tones. They switched on their cameras, the harsh glare of the lights briefly cutting through the oppressive darkness. But the recordings were horrifying. Distorted faces, not their own, flickered across the screens, eyes burning with malevolent glee. Fahd stumbled, clutching his head with a strangled cry. His eyes rolled back, his body convulsing, as if something unseen was tearing at his mind. The others watched, paralyzed with fear, as his screams devolved into incoherent gurgles. Then, silence. Each room they explored held a mirror, but the reflections were not their own. Instead, grotesque parodies stared back, twisted versions of themselves, with hollow black eyes and features stretched into horrifying masks of agony. Before they could react, Khaled was snatched into the darkness, his screams abruptly cut off as if a blade had silenced him midair. Panic seized Sam and Nalef. They fled, stumbling through the decaying rooms, the whispers growing louder, closer. They saw fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures in the periphery, their forms shifting and indistinct, always just out of reach. The air crackled with an unseen energy, a palpable sense of dread. They found a window, a sliver of hope in the suffocating darkness. As Nalef smashed the glass, a sharp shard sliced his arm, but he ignored the pain, scrambling through the opening. Sam followed, collapsing onto the overgrown grass outside, his heart hammering against his ribs. They looked back at the house, its shadowy form looming against the night sky, silent and menacing. They never spoke of what happened that night. The footage from their cameras was a nightmarish collage of distorted faces, fleeting shadows, and the chilling, final moments of their friends. The house remained, a grim monument to their ill-fated adventure, a testament to the horrors that lurked in the shadows, waiting for the next, unsuspecting victims to stumble into its chilling embrace.